my best tips for living in Zambia and how you should start the game running. Hey, Jason, if you've been watching the channel, you now see me as I'm 9 years in the game in this expat life on my fourth country in my third continent. And so I'm sharing with you some of the things I've learned and how I see life now on the road. And so in this video, I want to talk about some of the best tips that I have for you for Zambia. Now, these are going to be from a financial and entrepreneur type of aspect. So if you're not into making money, or if you don't want to move to actually get the bigger bang for your buck, then sorry, this video is not for you. But if you're someone who cares about making money, who wants to be able to make more money, someone that wants to probably set up some generational wealth, then this is who this video is for. And so the first thing is opening a bank account here. One of the things that's good about opening a bank account here, they still get good interest rates. So in just a regular savings account here with FNB, and I use FNB Premium, you get a 6% return interest yearly. So one of the things that I do, and this is just my thing, is I save in local currency. I don't worry about trying to save in dollars anymore. Because one of the things I've learned from my travels so far, it takes a lot less dollars to be in better economic categories when you're living abroad, especially if we're going to countries where your currency multiplies so much. So I save in kwacha, and I put aside about 5,000 kwacha a month there. And so that's just 60,000 kwacha a year. But getting that 6% interest rate and just letting that compound over time, that leads to being a good stack of money. And I didn't save much over a lot shorter period of time than if I was saving dollars, collecting 0.000 some interest. So like really look at that compounding effect of the interest, that now you're getting a good interest. And go back to like the early 90s when the banking system was really good in the US. And I'm going to explain to you after this next one why you need to look at it from that perspective, because it's going to go hand in hand. And the next thing is saving options. I was just talking to Prudential Life Insurance here to get a whole life policy where I have to keep it in there for at least 5 years before I can pull it out. And from there, it's an 11% annually interest, and it compounds each year. So like just looking at that, I was looking at if I set aside another 5,000 kwacha, then I'll be saving 60,000 a year. And I know after 5 years, I have at the minimum 300,000 kwacha saved up. Plus, I think the rough estimate I did on the interest, I have about 38,000 or 40,000 earned in interest. And I think that's doing the calculation low off. And so I was just looking at that and I was like, give me a Zambian who wouldn't want to just have 300,000 kwacha in their pocket after 5 years, and how feasible is it for the average ordinary person to do it? And looking at that thing, it's like it's showing you again, you're setting aside a small amount of money, but because of that multiplier over time, you're actually getting a lot of money for the economy that you're living in. And like really think about that, because you have to learn to stop thinking from your economy of the American dollar and start transitioning to the local economy currency. And the longer it takes for you to be able to make that that jump in that comparison and understand the difference between the two, it's going to be harder for you to start learning some of the things that you can take advantage of. Like, yes, you may take a little bit of a dip from sending your money from dollars to kwacha, but in the long run, what are you gaining from it? And so that's something that I've seen a lot of expats, because they stay in their American bubble. I'm an American in this country. They don't get to take advantage of all the financial opportunities that's sitting right in front of their face. And so this is one that's really important. And this is why I be looking through this stuff, man. Like so many people be thinking I'm just out here partying, I'm out here having fun. I'm out here being a grown folk. I'm out here trying to get grown folk information. Like, I don't care about how much beer costs in this country. I don't care what clubs are popping. Like, what can make me some more money? Like, I am here to take advantage of this conversion and this multiplication factor on top of the safety. So This is the stuff that you need to be looking at if you're thinking from a perspective of how can I better myself in the long run to where I'm living like a king or queen. Like, really think about that. And then the third tip is, and this is the most important, like, please hear this part, the financial patterns of economic growth. If you're someone who studies real estate, you'll know that there's economic growth patterns. There's buy and sell patterns. And that works for everything in the world. There's buy and sell patterns. The continent of Africa has been held back to the point now where it cannot be held back anymore. It's truly a free continent in the terms of potential business opportunities. And what I mean by that is with the development of the internet, anyone can do business at any place in the world at any given time, as long as they have internet. And you don't have to be live. That's the beautiful thing about it. It can be static videos just like this one you're seeing here that was pre-recorded. And so with that being said, there's now freedoms of there's possibilities and opportunities of entrepreneurship here that are at smaller levels because this continent has been held back for so long under the different ruling powers. And I'm not talking about politics. We're talking about economic levels. This is bigger than politics. Like, there's world dominances that was keeping this continent down. And those pressures and stresses are slowly leaving. But most people are looking for the big change. They're not seeing the smaller changes, the mom and pop levels. And what I mean by that is like small businesses. But it's like at big levels, you can play small business. And I don't think a lot of people know that. There's a small business at the big level, medium level, and lower levels. Like, there's always a spectrum of how big and how small something is in each category it's in. And so, like, I want to just give you an example from landscaping. Like, with landscaping, you can open up a landscaping corporation. And with under doing a landscaping corporation here, but it's different levels you can have that corporation going into. One of the levels, you can create an umbrella company of a janitorial staffing agency. And with this staffing agency, you're providing groundskeepers to different places. Like, there's different corporations that would love to know they could have a dedicated staff of maybe 5-6 people that are going to always be able to work their grounds and keeping things done. And they're doing it at a set time also. And so with that, you can be having a staffing agency like that. And most people may be like, well, why would you call it janitorial? Because with the janitorial, they're cleaning the outside. And then later you can start being like, hey, if I can guarantee this many people and this is all you have to pay over this amount of years, like, can I bring you janitorial people, cleaners for the inside? Like, it's a business, man. It's all business. And you have to think about that because you don't see those type of agencies here yet. Like, there's, yes, agencies, but you don't see it on the level that the US and the UK and some of these other countries play at. Like, it's levels to it, man. Like, when I was in the post office, it used to be where people bid it on the actual post offices they would like to get the contract for. And so a big company finally came in that had hundreds of people on their staff, and they went and took over all the smaller postal agencies because they said, look, you're paying these people let's say 4 or 5,000 US dollars a month to clean this small office. Instead, pay me 3,000 a month per office, and I guarantee you I'll clean 100 offices. Like, because they were able to staff so much more offices, they took all of those contracts. And so that type of business can exist on every level, including providing groundskeepers. Like, really think about that. And you tell them, the corporation, hey, if you just hire me and you pay me this certain much per worker, but I'm going to do it for this many companies. And you don't have to worry about staffing any of those companies or people being on time or people not doing a good job. We will create uniformity across them because everyone will be doing the exact same thing. and you know exactly what time they'll be doing it. Most companies, especially huge companies such as bank corporations and things like that, like a Toyota, they're going to be like, okay, let me take that because now they can see projected revenue growth because they have a set bill now that was probably something like they don't know. It was fluctuating a little. Sometimes they're paying more, sometimes they're paying less. And then they had inconsistency of keeping the tidiness of their areas, which more eyesores actually distress most people. And the more eyesores you see, the less likely you are to buy something psychologically. So like really think about how deep that is. And that's something that can be done here. And then you can also do the next level, a lawnmower business, where you're actually creating a business that's providing equipment and labor to different companies. And with companies, you can target like the smaller bank corporations, the smaller bank offices, I'm sorry, like the little branches, the headquarters, shopping outlets. You can be targeting also high end luxury subdivisions, gated communities and stuff to where you're telling them, hey, you know, I'm willing to do this yard for so much. And if I can get everybody in the neighborhood, I'm willing to reduce it 30% because now all I have to do is come to one place and just be here. And you can pick Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday. Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday. You pick the day and I'll have a guy here that's working your yard and they'll be finished within 2 hours, depending on the size. Like that's a business opportunity here that no one has been feeling yet. And it's still part of landscaping. And then the next level, which will probably be the biggest level, is you actually go for government contracts where this can be highway cleaning people. And what all you're doing is you're just providing you're just improving on the general, the potential of, electricity coming back. And what you're doing here when you're going for the government contracts, you pitch it as you're helping improve the potential level of growth financially for the economy. And what I mean by that is most people don't realize there's different ratings for subdivisions and things like that based on certain factors. It's not just safety. People genuinely know your more high-end areas, people are not going to be doing much robbing and things like that there. But what people don't notice what goes along with that as one of the little markers is cleanliness. So even cities get these ratings too. And with cities, these ratings actually work on their tourism friendly ratings. If you notice some of the places like India, stuff like that, they're not the biggest tourist friendly because they're shown and seen as more dirty, crowded cities. And so Zambia isn't a bad city. It's just there's no cleaning here. So if that was done on a bigger level, I know for sure personally that it would increase the tourism level here because it's really a good place. This is a really good place, man. And unfortunately, we've all been kind of programmed dirty could mean dangerous. And that's even with South Africa. Like, I really feel like if South Africa, Johannesburg, was just really cleaned up really good, people would not even think that it's as dangerous a city as they think it is because it's a really great city. And Joburg got some really great people there, man. And I feel the same way about Lusaka. And so having that type of business and you explain to them and show them how it could probably increase the the future economic growth of just their tourism industry. Because also people are forgetting that we're all coming from a lockdown. Everybody wants to travel now in some form or way. And a lot of expats now, after lockdown, some of them are tired of being in that country they were in. Now it kept, that psychologically messes with your mind. And so a lot of them are looking for new places to settle. And Zambia needs to be one of those places. This is a great opportunity all across the board for people, and people need to know. And I think also one of the good things is like with knowing these things and you can provide these type of businesses, it can really set you up to not only change your life, but the entire direction of Zambia. And really think about that. A lot of people see the United States of America on the outside is the 1950s when it was economic growth. You could get loans, get cars, build your life. And most people in the United States want to go back to that time. However, because of the patterns of economic growth, and this is, if you read the book, The Rise and Fall of Nations, it talks about this. Um, it's not coming back there anytime soon. So you need to go to the places, one of the places where it's happening. And the great thing is I found one here in this Zambia, man. So if you got any questions or comments, just shoot me a message down below. I'll share any information I got with you. That's one of the reasons why I'm learning all of this stuff. I'm not here to just have fun. I'm here to change the dynamic of not only my family, but my surname too. Like, there's a lot of economic opportunities here, and you need to know this. But just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.